Okay, as I'm sure you can tell, this is a little bit different. We're actually in the same room right now, which is kind of not the normal thing.
Yeah.
But it's awesome because we're going to our friend JJ's meetup tomorrow. Pansy's in town. She's been traveling. She's, you know, just got in, and we almost forgot to do this. Well, we almost forgot to do this podcast
Oh,
because of, well, just everything,
travel
yeah,
and
everything
everything.
that's going on, right? So,
Right.
um, and we, I brought it up. I was like, should we just tell everybody we're gonna like put it off for today? And I use everybody loosely, but should I just tell people that we're not going to do it today? And he's like, no, no, we should still do it. And that's why Pansy's my partner right there, right? Because that's one of the many reasons. But I, you got to do it even though it's not
Perfect.
perfect, it's not easy, it's not convenient. Like if you want to do anything, especially in business, you got to just do it, even though it's inconvenient, even though it's going to be, I don't know, a little painful, maybe. Like we're literally in my brother's, like no joke, we're literally in my brother's spare bedroom on
Sharing a chair.
on my brother's, yeah, sharing a chair on my brother on my brother's Wi-Fi, and figuring it out, and maybe not the greatest camera or the
Right.
greatest audio. It's very raw. In fact, I totally like forgot to change my name on here too because I don't want to give away my phone number. Um, yeah, but I mean, for those of you who are listening, we talk about this after the fact. Um, and do you want let me put your and mine since we're doing it on the same computer. I'm gonna put yours and my uh Instagram.
I got
Oh, you got it.
my QR code.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's got all my stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
What's that?
people, that's my QR code
That's Pansy's QR
to
code.
get a hold of us.
Yeah. Um, so anyways, yeah, for those of you listening, we talk about that. I'm gonna edit that out anyways. So after the fact, you're not gonna be able to see my phone number anyway, but um,
Oh,
not like people are gonna be calling me off the hook anyways, but I just don't,
maybe,
you never know, right?
maybe.
Yeah. So
So what do we want to talk about?
yeah, so
This
I
event for one,
well,
right?
yeah, so first of all is JJ's event. We're going to up to LA tomorrow at about 9:30 in the morning. For those of you guys who don't know JJ Azizian, he's a friend of ours. He's um a networking guy. He's in sub two, um and he's holding a networking event up in Glendale, so up near his home, and a bunch of people are getting together. It's supposed to be, a few hundred people there tomorrow. So we're gonna go to that and network. That's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so, we figure it out. We figure out, in business, you figure it out, and that's what we're doing. We're figuring it out. Also, it's hot in this room. Is
It
it not
is
hot in this
freaking
room?
hot.
It's freaking hot in this room.
Open the door.
Yeah, we can open the door a little bit.
Some air flow.
Get some air from here. Yeah, so this particular podcast episode is not going to be a super long one, but we wanted to do it. Pansy talked me into it, and we wanted to do it as an example of like, look, we're doing a lot of other stuff, but we want to be consistent and we want to keep doing it no matter what happens or what's happening
Yeah.
in our life at the time. We want to keep doing it and be consistent, and so that's what we're doing. And I was listening to well, among other people, I was listening to Alex Ramosi talking about like him and him and his wife have gone through some recent stuff. Like they just got slapped with like a huge bill, a multi eight-figure bill that they had to pay all at once within 72 hours, and in cash. Like what that is, I don't know. But luckily for them, they had the money, right? But how did, and then he goes in and he starts talking about, this is one of his newer episodes, by the way, but he starts talking about, you know, going through the pain of business. And it kind of, I think it's an important topic because ooh, that's actually better. The light's better too. The um the moral of the story is you can beat most people just by doing more. Doing not even doing more, just by doing when you don't feel like doing. Like if you can figure out how to increase your level of like your pain threshold to where like you maybe like we're doing it right now, like this is not comfortable, we're sitting on the same chair, we're in a room that's hot, we're doing other things, we don't have really necessarily have a great environment to do this in, but we're freaking doing it anyway, because we want to be consistent, we want to do it for the folks who actually watch and get value out of this. But that's what this is all about, right? And if you can increase your level of tolerance for that, all of a sudden beating out your competition or even just other people trying to do the same stuff as you is trivial, because you literally are doing more than most people. And it's not hard to do that. You just have to kind of build that muscle, right? And so what do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't know, like you didn't want to do this necessarily, or like we didn't put out the, you know,
The
the
notification. Yeah.
notifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I wasn't feeling well from traveling and
Mhm.
whatever, but we've been consistent for several weeks now, right?
Mhm.
Like this is what our 15th episode.
This will be number 15. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't want to, and especially if I'm here with you,
I know.
like,
Well, right. And I was, again, like I'm guilty. I was like coming up with an excuse of like, well, we didn't promote it. We don't really have any guests on today. We're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, hey, that's for you. Yeah. And so I'm just thinking of kind of every reason why we shouldn't do it, as opposed to maybe thinking about why Pansy was thinking about why we should do it, right? And so again, that's a muscle I need to keep building.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, because this is the first time we're meeting in person,
Mhm.
like since I came here.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Mhm.
what do you think about that?
What do I think about what? Meeting
Just
in person?
yeah.
I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, you like you have to meet in person, right? Eventually.
Eventually, you would hope, right?
I mean, if we're business partners, right?
I would think so.
I mean, so yeah, you can't just be behind a computer. You can't just be online all the time. Like you're eventually gonna have to get out there and meet people. But um so anyways, I'm grateful that the Pansy got to come out here, because I hadn't met her in person. I thought we had met in person, but I was wrong. I thought we had met in person
I don't
like
know.
two JJ's meetings
To
ago.
change. Oh,
Yeah.
you thought I came to the picture, and I was
Yeah.
supposed to be there last year. It just didn't work
Okay.
out.
Well, I thought we had, for whatever reason, I thought we
Unless I
had.
have a lookalike,
Well, you might have a doppelganger. I don't know.
maybe.
Uh, there might have been another redhead.
It's
Uh,
not red, it's blonde.
it's blonde. It's red. Come on
It's
now.
blonde.
Okay, keep telling yourself
You
that.
people are blind.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. So anyway, I'm grateful for that, and that's a part of what you got to do if you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to network, if you're going to build your friends, your network. You've got to go meet people in person. You know, you got to put yourself out there, and that means traveling. Like, for crying out loud, we're getting into real estate investing. We're real estate investors. You got to go travel to go see the properties that you're getting
Yeah,
or
especially if
that you're
they're not
managing.
like It's
right?
your backyard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm in California. Most of the properties I'm investing in are not going to be in California, if not all.
Right? Yeah,
So it's just one of those things. You got to travel, you got to go meet the people. And I'm glad that Pansy was able to get out here so that we could hang out.
yeah,
And um yeah, and it's I don't know what it is like for me when I first started this journey. It was about doing that. It really was like I wanted to meet a bunch of people. I wanted to get out and go do stuff. But what happens is you start on the work stuff, at least for me anyways. I'm very systems oriented. You get started on the work stuff and it can become an excuse not to go. It can be an excuse to like, oh, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done, I've got to get the systems built out, or I've got to work on the business, or I got to work in the business rather instead of on the business, right? And so be careful of that trap.
yeah,
Be careful of that trap. That there has to be a balance for you guys who are out there. I think the best advice I ever got in the beginning was, look, worry about building your
well,
network. I mean, don't worry, but what you should be thinking about is building your network and figuring out how to make money. All of the other stuff that you're concerned about, taxes, accounting, systems, once you figure out those two things, the rest will you will figure out all the rest of that stuff.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I don't know about for you, but I spent a lot of time like trying to, I don't know, put together the system and have everything like, ready to go before I even had a business, before I even knew what I was really I knew what I was going to be doing, but I didn't really know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think I was worried so much about a system. I just wanted to understand what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I purchased plenty of several different places, you know, in life, but never like for an investment, and it's different,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm sorry. I was messing with the speaker because we're probably the audio for this. I'm hoping the audio is actually okay, but if it's not, I apologize. Again, again, this is raw. Like we're doing this because we want to be consistent. We want to do it no matter what. Um, you know, when
Hopefully something there.
it'll be fine. But even if it's not, we can take something out of this and post it up. Even if we just get like a freaking Instagram short out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's something. People need to know who we are.
Yes. Yeah.
Like why do we want to watch Justin and Pansy?
Hmm. I
So
don't know. Why do you? You guys are freaking crazy. Like, why would you ever want to watch us?
because we're cute.
We're special.
No, we're cute. Shut up, Justin. You might be special.
Yeah, I'm definitely special.
You
Um,
are special, Justin.
thank you, Pansy.
You're special.
I appreciate that. Well, you too.
Yeah.
So anyway, another thing that I was listening to, so this is another piece of this same podcast that Alex was putting on, but he was talking about like, you know, what are you worried about? What are you so concerned about? This is actually a quote, I think, from I think it's Marcus Aurelius. What are you so concerned about losing when nothing really belongs to you anyway? Which is a really good quote. What are you so concerned about losing when nothing belongs to you anyway? Like you're gonna cash all of your chips in at the end anyways, and all of your chips are gonna get divvied out to other people at the end anyway. You can't take it with you. So whatever it is that you're scared of doing, whatever it is that you're worried about losing because you're gonna take a chance on this or that, what are you so concerned about losing when nothing really belongs to you anyways? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be thoughtful about what you're doing and take precautions and do your research and all of those things, but if at the end of the day, for me, like a lot of things that I put off that I could have done a lot sooner, I put off because I was concerned I was gonna make a mistake, I was gonna lose something, right?
Look like a fool,
Maybe
maybe.
you look like, but that could be one of the things, like what are you concerned about losing? And that could include looking like a fool. Like, F it. Seriously.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, you
like,
get to a certain point in life and you're like, who gives it?
well, we were just talking about this. So you get to a certain age and you realize that like nobody has it all figured out. Everybody is still trying to fricking work it out, right? Even the people that made a bunch of money, they figured a part of things out, right? But they haven't got it all figured out. So let that be a lesson and a motivator for you. It's like, look, especially for people who have like imposter syndrome and stuff like that, or dealing with that, which is a real thing. Um,
Yeah,
everybody gets that.
yeah, several times. You're not just gonna get it once and then be like,
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
I've got it
I'm
figured
good
out.
now.
Yeah.
It's regular,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah.
That one, what was that one thing? Something about sitting there with your head in your hand and just
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah. Not knowing
like,
what you're gonna do next.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's just what you choose to, how you choose to progress.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, what if having a bad day, like if you were to look at your entire year and you were to break out, or even just take 100 days, you look at 100 days and you look at how many of those days are going to be happy days. And then how many of those days are going to be like, indifferent, maybe just kind of like whatever days. And then how many of those days are going to be upset or, you know, pissed off days. And what you realize is like it's all kind of a choice. You're making a choice to be happy about something just the same way you're making a choice to be angry about something. And it's like you can make a choice to be just like you can make a choice to be angry about something, you can make that choice instead to feel good. And how do you do that? You think about the things that actually bring you joy and that you're grateful for, right? That's how you do that. It really is. And if you practice that, it really is kind of a cheat code,
Yeah.
for when you're pissed. Because trust me, Pansy will tell you, I get frustrated a lot, but I don't let it. I really try not, and most times do not let it ruin my entire day. And the way I do that is I think about what I'm super grateful for, and I think about how far we've come, um, and that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a choice. You can decide to be frustrated and let all of the little things piss you off. Um, my other business partner, Mark, you know, he talks to me and he'll probably end up watching this too. I hope he does watch this, but he's teaching me, right? There's plenty of things that, Mark says he's like, I've fired you multiple times already in my brain, but he's like,
And why is that?
well, because a lot of things I've not moved forward on fast enough. Like business and money like fast. They like quick decisions, they like deliverables, getting deliverables fast. And I was not like, I'll be honest, I was not sure about myself. I was not sure enough in myself and my knowledge, my understanding of what we were doing. And that's partly what held me back. And I give Mark a lot of props for giving me the grace to make those mistakes and to go through some of the pain of figuring that out. Um, but there's
I think
eh,
that's why we get along too. Is like we understand and we give each other grace.
yeah,
And that's a big thing. I feel that many of the people in our community, they do give that to everyone, because we all know we didn't come in here knowing everything. We don't know everything. We're not gonna know everything.
mhm,
And we're gonna make mistakes and we're gonna do things that are unintentional.
mhm,
Um, but it's how you decide to move from there.
Mm.
Are you gonna continue to do the same thing? Or are you gonna change that and do better? I mean, I think that's where you could give people grace, but if it's the same thing over and over and over, then eventually you have a problem.
Yeah, that's right. And there's been some of that, and I take full responsibility. There's been some things that have been kind of repeat issues, and that is like, for example, showing up late to meetings, saying I'm gonna be somewhere at a certain time and not being there. That's a big one, and that's a freaking problem that I need to work on myself. And I've been trying to get better at that. Really,
So
not
don't beat
trying,
yourself.
but I look, if I'm gonna tell someone I'm gonna be somewhere, I've got to be there, and I've got to be there on time. And because I think it's just it's what's the word I'm thinking of? It's an
Conscientious.
honor thing. It's a
Integrity.
integrity thing, exactly. So, and a lot of people, and I give grace on that too. Like, but again, it's about how much you respect your own time too. Like if I'm showing up late to a meeting, like if you were to set a meeting with Pace Morby and show up 15 minutes late, do you think Pace would let you get away with that?
It probably wouldn't happen.
Probably wouldn't happen. He probably would. The meeting would have been. He wouldn't have waited for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would be
Who
the
has
last time.
though?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
seriously.
and that would be the last time you probably ever met with Pace. So it would take you a very long time to build up that trust again, to be able to get that meeting scheduled again. And that's because Pace has a lot of respect for his own time, and others have respect for his time, right?
We should all have.
And we should have
our
respect for
time.
each other's time. That's right. That's a part of it. So I know this is kind of like we're touching on a lot of different subjects here, but it all boils down to like we could have not done this freaking podcast today. That's really what it comes down to. We could have not done this podcast today, but we chose to do it, despite the fact that nobody jumped into the call, because we didn't promote it, so that's on us,
Yeah.
right? Despite the
But
fact that
hopefully, but people will watch.
people watch, sure,
People will watch and hopefully they take something from it.
yeah,
I mean, they want authentic, right? So I think showing authenticity and how, yeah, we did it. You did it.
that was me. That was on me. That was on me. And it was just
And you
again,
were trying to get out of it.
it was that was
Because
totally
why?
me.
Because it wasn't perfect. Because we
No,
didn't
no, because
promote
we
it.
didn't promote it, and we were coming up, and you said you weren't feeling good,
So, well,
so
but how many times have I gone through that and I
it's
still
true.
show up?
It's very
So
true. Very, very true.
you
Um,
gotta push yourself sometimes.
So look, we had all the reasons in the world, including, and I take the responsibility of saying, hey, should we not do this today? Are we still gonna do this? Should we not do it? And Pansy said, no, fuck that. We're gonna do it.
We're not supposed to be swearing, remember?
We can swear once.
I know, but what if like our
Little kids are
friends-
watching.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
I'll bleep it out if it offends everybody. But Pansy basically said, screw that. We're gonna do this, um, and we're doing it, and
and we did it and we're here and
yeah,
like
and
what else should we talk about? Maybe the types of things we are doing for business. Like,
mhm. Well, so speaking of that, so one of the things that I'm going to keep bringing up is for those of you who are watching who are interested in business credit, have been looking for funding, who have been trying to figure that out, who have maybe gone down a couple rabbit holes on that already. Um, we've got you covered on that. So if you're interested in something like that, DM me on Instagram. I'm literally like I'm kind of frazzled right now. So, but DM me on Instagram or just put something in the comments if you're interested. You can also hit us up on our Facebook group, which I'll put in the description. But business funding is a big deal. If you guys have a business, well, in order to get business funding, you have to have a business. That's number one. Do you have to be making a ton of money in your business? No. Do you have to be making any money in your business? No, you don't. And when we can get into talking about that more, but what do you need in order to buy real estate? What are the two things you need to buy real estate?
money
And
and a deal.
and a deal. So money and a deal. So what can you do to get money? Like you can go earn money. You go trade your time for money, right? You can start a side hustle besides doing the real estate thing. You start a side hustle that brings in money, but that's kind of trading time for money, right? Um, you could raise money, right? You could talk to a private money lender, or you could go get your own funding. You could go get your own line of credit. You could go and get your own credit cards. You could go and utilize that funding for lending yourself, or purchasing your next property, whatever it is. So there's levels to this, and my partner Mark and I have spent a lot of time and a lot of money learning this process and what it means. And it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? The industry likes to make a lot out of it, but there's some very specific steps that you can take to get yourself positioned, not only to get funding now, but to get funding into the future. So, and higher levels of funding, right? Mark and I are going after, I mean, all of us, like we're going after hundreds of thousands and eventually millions. That's where we want to end up, right? In order to do that, you build up to that, right? So it's not like you go to your first Pee Wee football game and then they're drafting you into the NFL, right?
No.
You have to work out, right? You have to work up to it, right? But it's not as difficult as it sounds, as it's made out to sound. And there's some actually really easy things you can do right away to help your situation. And if you guys are interested in hearing more about it, I'll be happy to do an episode about it where we can touch on it. I mean, we can do masterminds about it. But what are Pansy and I doing for our business? We're buying real estate. We're positioning ourselves to buy real estate and to build our portfolio and eventually get to the place where we can buy businesses. And how we get there, I'm not concerned with the how right now. I'm concerned with the who we know and the relationships and the connections we can make and to get ourselves there, right? And at the same time helping the others get there as well.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was gonna say, like, we want to work with people who want to do this themselves.
Yeah.
So we all win, right?
yeah, that's the goal. Is so that we all get to the top of the mountain together and have fun while we're doing it. It's not all about like,
Yeah, Justin, have fun while we're doing it. You're the one who has
Hey.
a hard time having fun.
hey, I'm busy, all right? I'm busy.
No,
Ain't got time for fun. Who's got time for fun?
I
What are we
do.
talking about? I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, it's about the journey, and it's about the memories, it's about the skills and experience, it's about the friendships, the network, all that. The money will come. Money will come. Like it's all you have to do is not give up. Like literally all you have to do is not give up.
I agree.
So all right, well,
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
can Go eat. I'm hungry.
yeah, I'm hungry too. So I'm gonna put descriptions, or in the description, I'm gonna put our Facebook group, how you can get a hold of us, like I do on most of the videos. I'm gonna put a link to our business funding. If you're interested and you want more information about that, hit us up. And obviously any other pertinent information that we talked about, I'll
Yeah.
have to rewatch
We'll
this.
put
Figure
stuff
it out.
in there.
We'll put a whole bunch
whatever.
of stuff in there.
We'll load you guys up. with
Yeah.
Some stuff.
Yeah, well, it's about value, and we both want to bring value, but let us know, put your comments in the comment section and keep coming back and keep watching and join our Facebook group, and it's all about connecting. So appreciate you guys for watching, for maybe the one or two of you that are watching this, but I appreciate you for real.
We appreciate you.
I know I say that jokingly, but I appreciate you guys, like anybody who's taking the time to watch this, because like why watch us? Like,
right,
you know,
right.
but it's gonna get better. It's onward and upward. It's only gonna get better. So,
Yep.
join us again next week, same bat channel, same bat time. And we'll see you guys later.